Somewhere in the bowels of the city that never sleeps,
Kevin McCullough, radio host with Salem Media,
is a man also not sleeping.
Syndicated radio talk show host Kevin McCullough.
And that guy would like a word with you.
Many of you know him as Nostradamus.
Of course that Kevin show is going to be great. The only thing that could be greater, of course, would be that Donald show. But we don't have that, so we have that Kevin show.
Featuring the music of Dick Tunney and the Dream in Color Orchestra. Yet to come on this hour of That Kevin Show, the living presidents choose between Cocaine Bear and Jesus. Christine Nicholas, the First Lady of New York Hospitality, joins us. And 3-time Grammy-winning and 45-time Dove-winning Michael W. Smith in the Music Spotlight. Before we're done. And now, live from Times Square, where the trains may derail and be full of muggers, but at least they're free of vinyl chloride. Here's That Kevin.
I guess, there's a silver lining to everything. Yeah, you know, East Palestine, Ohio, the whole town gets ruined by vinyl chloride and the derailment. New York City, it's mostly just the filth of the stench of filth. Anyway, in the trains, sometimes they derail, and they are always full of muggers, at least these days. Kevin McCullough, glad to have you with us. Welcome to a very special second hour of That Kevin Show tonight. Yet to come, Christine Nicholas, who would be slapping my knuckles right now. She'd be wrapping my knuckles with a ruler. Don't you say that New York City stinks? It's great. It's the greatest city on planet Earth, and I agree with that. It's just that I've ridden in the subways a couple of times in recent weeks, and it's not an inaccurate observation. Anyway, she's going to tell us a lot of the good things that are going on here. And for those of you that have kind of like marked New York off your bucket list, wish list, don't do that. Don't do that. Come see us. Come see how cool it is in Times Square to run into an Elmo who may or may not fondle you on a moment's notice. Just come and experience it for yourself. There's nothing like the Naked Cowboy except in person. You got to come anyway. Kevin McCullough, glad to have you with us. You know, this whole I started the first hour off with this, the whole Cocaine Bear Jesus Revolution contest that started in the theaters last week. Cocaine Bear edged out the savior of the world. But it was not by a large margin. It's just a couple of $1 million. But to date, now Jesus Revolution, I think, has made $22 million going into this weekend. We don't even have this weekend's box offices yet. But last week, it was a contest between Cocaine Bear and Jesus Revolution. And for some reason, the living presidents felt it was necessary to ask for complimentary tickets because of them being big VIPs. You know, we're former presidents. We want to get free tickets to the movies. So I tried to see what I could do.
Yes, Mr. McCullough, Diane Langworthy of United Cinemas. It looks like we can accommodate all of the living presidents to the movie of their choice this weekend. They simply need to confirm Cocaine Bear or Jesus Revolution. I'll check in with you tomorrow.
Hey, Kev, Senator Biden, President Harris and I think we want tickets to go see The Bear because cocaine reminds me a lot of all that stuff they put in my protein shakes before my State of the Unions.
Hi, Kevin. It's Donald. You know, I've never smoked, drank, done any kind of drugs, neither of my kids, and I'm not going to start now. So give me tickets for the revolution. I like revolution. Revolutions are good. American Revolution, make America great again.
Kev, it's Barack. Let me be clear. Michelle and I would like to go see the Cocaine Bear. But just as I said when I was campaigning, I promise I won't inhale.
Hey, Kev. W. You know, Coke and I did not have a very good relationship. In fact, I'm still a little bit afraid of sunshine from all that I did. So I think Laura and I would like to go see the Jesus movie, that revolution thing.
Hey, Kev, it's Bill. I couldn't care less which one you give me tickets to. I just want to know, and I have to kind of whisper this, will there be chicks?
Isn't he funny? Kev, it's Hillary. I was listening on the other line. Don't worry about that. We'll be glad to take whatever tickets you give us for the Cocaine Bear. We won't go see Jesus.
Cav, Senator Biden again. Come to find out, when talking with Jill about it, turns out Hunter would like to go too. Something about bears or cocaine. I think it was the cocaine, actually. But yeah, Hunter needs a ticket.
I bet Hunter does. He wants. I think Hunter probably only wants to know where the stash was that they used to film with the bear. Maybe not knowing that they didn't use an actually coked up grizzly to shoot the film. Anyway, that's the living presidents. They love stopping by. I don't know why. They love to leave their messages for me. But I was pondering this whole thing. What if a bear did get into drugs that say were left behind by human beings in the world? And it turns out, according to the big newspaper in Denver, evidently they do.
Well, in 2019, Colorado Parks and Wildlife started a bear tracking and reporting system across the state. So we keep track of different bear activities, where they're at, what they're getting into. And we have had a few reports of bears getting into, we had a bear get into a freezer that had some marijuana edibles, and also had a bear that took someone's backpack that had some marijuana in there as well. But, once bears learn that freezers or backpacks might have food, they're going to go after those sources.
Give me the weed, baby. That grizzly, he wants to get his chill on so badly. Is it bad for them?
Well, it would have, some sort of effect, but for the overall health of the animal, it's not something that would be overly concerning for us. And, in some cases, they could get into large amounts of those substances, but the opportunities for that to happen are pretty slim.
All right. Well, that's good to know. I mean, I don't want the bears having permanent damage from the coke or the weed that they may do. And we seem to be very concerned about that. Maybe more concerned than we are about our fellow man. But then again, that's just the way it is. But what about, if there's weed bears and coke bears, there's got to be adult beverage bears.
Once we've had bears that get into coolers that have beer and will chew on some beer cans trying to drink the beer out of there. Also soda cans as well, or high calorie sugary drinks. So that's really what the bears are looking for, is those high calorie food sources. I mean, we've had, bears that have taken entire coolers full of beer, chewed into those cans and busted them everywhere.
What do you call a bear that has had beer, weed, and coke? Snoop Dogg. I'm kidding. Anyway, any lessons that the humans should be taking away from this?
The bottom line is, humans provided these sources for the bears. And it usually comes down to the bears becoming habituated to human provided food sources. And so they learn a cooler could potentially have food in there. They're going to go check out a cooler to see what's in there. And they're very curious animals as well. So, if they think something could possibly be food, they're going to try to at least taste it and see if they get any sustenance from that. Also, things like air fresheners, deodorants, things like that can also attract bears if they have a food type scent. And so you want to make sure that you're not providing those food sources or scent attractants for bears, keeping that stuff secured as much as possible so the bears aren't coming around people looking for food and potentially getting into other substances as well.
Because as we've seen in the movies the last couple of weeks, you don't want bears on substances. It's just a bad choice all the way around. Anyway, something was kind of cool about this week. You heard John Irwin in the first hour make mention that the movie houses had kind of done their own thing, sticking with these movies as they were intended to be seen by their directors, and that Universal had gone full-fledged with Cocaine Bear, and they made Cocaine Bear the best Cocaine Bear they could. And Lionsgate went with Jesus Revolution and let John Irwin and the Irwin brothers and Kevin Downes and the others make that movie to the best of their ability. And at the end of the day, what ended up happening here is you had two very contrasting films that the public chose from. And this last week, John Irwin of the Jesus Revolution movie, sent a note to the Cocaine Bear people and said congratulations. I thought it was a very classy thing to do. And I like it when my Christian friends are also classy. Happens to work out well. Kevin McCullough, Christy Nicholas from New York City joins me next. She is the First Lady of New York City Hospitality. And a little bit later on, 3-time Grammy winner Michael W. Smith